Oh no, am I?
To
Am I
me,
frozen?
No, you're not. Go.
Okay.
Oh.
Welcome.
Oh, steal it. No, fine, Steven, introduce us. No, it's fine. I don't need this.
Welcome to WeTaku Anime Reviews.
I'm your host, Thomas. And these are all my lovely co-hosts. Please introduce yourselves.
Yep.
This is a
Yep,
mess.
you're doing it. You're doing it. Keep going, guys.
I'm Steven. I'm grinding on Ni no Kuni and hate myself, but this is an amazing game and everyone should play it.
It is fun.
I'm Javon, and I'm in a cafe on strike from actually having to do my job. Thank you.
I'm Thomas. And I have committed coup.
I'm Allan. I'm dead inside.
Aren't we all?
We're all dead inside if you really think about it.
What are we talking
just
about today, Javon?
What? Do I really get to?
No, Allan.
Alan, what are we talking
I'm
about
not
today?
indulging you guys.
No.
Okay, Captain Killjoy. Ahem. The final movie of June, except it's July 3rd, but hey, whatever, the final movie of the June movie month thing is Eve no Jikan, The Time of Eve. This movie was actually super fun, and also, like, might have been a series of mini episodes that kind of all got put together into a movie. But, basically, in the not-too-distant future, kind of, we now have androids that kind of do things we tell them to, and they kind of live in our houses, and they feed our children, clothe them, I don't know, they take care of you. It's a house droid. Now, there's a cafe in which these are all your best pals. You can't tell who's a robot, who's a human. Everyone's just at the cafe. Antics ensue. That's it. Antics ensue. Antics ensue, and I just want to open up here by saying that this was the most uncomfortable favorite movie I've ever had.
No, I honestly, I've liked, of course I love Ghost in the Shell, and I like the other good one that we watched last week. But this one was a sleeper hit. Like, I did not expect to love this as much as I really did. Like, it's phenomenal.
But I also didn't expect to just be like, oh, stop, fuck, oh god, no, no, damn it.
The pacing, like, a lot of Japanese shows, I guess movies are typically much better at this, but, like, the pacing for this is fantastic.
It really is.
Where it goes from, it's a slower movie, but it, like, builds, and then it's, like, getting pretty deep and emotional, and then boom, joke. And, like, they're solid jokes. They land each joke.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Wait, did we all agree something was funny?
I laughed
Yes.
out loud.
Yes.
I thought it was hilarious.
I will say what I thought was funniest was I guess it's not, cinematography is not the word, but I guess the way they...
Oh my, slow-mo just
like,
every so often to remind you that we can.
Or like, you know, using music and then suddenly a joke is said and it just goes silent. Or,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
like, the camera just, like, cuts
You see it
very
from one
drastically
perspective, and you
somewhere
have
else.
this, like, huge dramatic music, and then you see, like, what it looks like to anyone else, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
really lame, I love it.
So, like,
Oh.
there was a lot of humor in the way it was, I guess, animated.
Directed.
Yeah, the way it was directed, that's the word.
Definitely made it.
Oh god, but not just the humor, like the actual themes of like what makes people. And okay, we did Ghost in the Shell, which was like, hey look, this robot gained sentience, and that's crazy and scary. And this one, it's like, hey look, these robots gain sentience, and they want to use it to get to know their humans better, make more friends, have family, and feel love. It's like, wait,
They all just want to drink coffee.
yeah, right. It's not like we gain sentience and now we are angry at our roles. It's like, I gain sentience and these people are like family to me and I love them. How do I love them better? And it's just, it's so cute.
Yeah. It's a very familiar, like, concept. It's not really unique. Again, you mentioned Ghost in the Shell, but the execution and just the way this same idea is handled is very different. It makes for a really great movie.
Oh, I gotta ask, while we're still spoiler free, dub or sub?
Sub.
I
I
watched
watched
sub.
subs. I didn't try the dub.
Oh, so I watched it dubbed, and the dub was fantastic, and I loved it a lot.
Really?
It was so good.
I'd rewatch this dub. I think I'll do that when I see Sam next.
I would strongly recommend it because, oh my god, guys, the dubbing is fun and good, and like the difference in emotion and like way they talk when the androids are talking to like as androids as opposed to like in the cafe where they're just like, oh, it's a person, and you're like, wait, no, oh Jesus.
They do it well in the Japanese too. But we should structure this.
Yeah,
We're kind of just like throwing
a little all over the
stuff.
place right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a good movie. Damn it. All right, fine. Soundtrack. How did we feel?
It was very simplistic, I would say, but it was nice. It was very nice.
I did like it. Like you said, simplistic. And 2 points they used a piano track. The first one I thought was very appropriate because it was when they were talking about piano. And honestly, I was expecting them to do it, or like they bring up the piano again a little bit afterward. And I like tuned into the music, and it was just like beats on a drum, like a techno drum kit. And I was like, this isn't. Why aren't you playing piano again? I expected this from this, but
No, it's fine.
it was okay. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I want to say about the soundtrack, it was like, this is going to sound really weird, almost delightfully generic. And like the exact track you expect to play for each scene is playing, but because of that, like you really love it because it's exactly what you wanted to be playing during the scene.
I think I know exactly the scene you're thinking about.
I'm thinking about a few, but there's one in particular that oh god, I can't wait till we get to spoilers because I already have questions ready. I have like points. This is gonna be the best podcast ever, folks. Because like, strap yourselves in. I really liked Eve no Jikan.
The two best scenes in the movie, I felt like also used music the best. As in, like it would have hard stops and then it would continue again, and then hard stop and continue again.
Yeah.
They
Definitely
did
paid
a great job
attention to-
punctuating.
They definitely paid attention to when silence was needed and when, a soundtrack was needed.
Yeah, and you have to give them a lot of props for that because I think we always have like problems with that when we talk about it. We're like, they could use sounds better, or maybe less of it, or maybe more of it, depending on the thing. I think this one just did it. It just did it really well. I want to talk about animation for a second. So I hate full like CG movies, and this is not full CG, but this has a lot of CG in it. And you know what I'm about to say? And this is Jovan saying that. It was fine.
It was.
integrated well.
Yeah.
The art style matches it super well. I thought it looked really good, and I didn't think it was like a problem whatsoever. I still hate that other thing.
It was also that a lot of the like robots, very like typical, not the androids, but the robots, they tended to be CG, and I mean it fits because you've got this whole human thing, which in this case is the drawn, and then the androids being CG. So it kind of gives you more of a distinction between when you're looking at something, whether you interpret it as human or robot.
I agree.
On a slightly different aspect of the animation, I can't say that this changed my mind about washed out colors.
What, you don't love brown?
movies. It's the super pale faces, like paper white.
Yeah.
And then like they do it in Steins Gate as well. I just can't get into the art styles, into the color palette more than the art style.
Okay, I don't think the color palette's the same as in Steins Gate. Although
Yeah,
it's
a lot
the same
warmer.
like color style, yeah. But I actually thought it worked really well with this movie, partially because of the CG. Because for me, I think you need like a very specific art thing to make CG work. And I thought these faded out colors like work a lot better with it than like having these like super vibrant show and then like here's a car made out of something completely different than everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, don't just wait till we get to Bakemonogatari.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
I can't wait until
Don't
words on
donuts.
screen.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
If anything, I think the color palette really fit the idea of a cafe, like a coffee shop.
It was
That's
very
true.
casual. Like,
It
Yeah.
was. This movie was casual. I like casually just like watched for 2 hours and loved it.
Did you guys notice they had steel walls in the cafe? Like they're really pushing this. It's in the future aspect
Thomas,
to it.
the door was like in an alley. It's like the sketchiest thing this world has ever seen. It looks like a submarine door like got welded to the side of like a metal alley wall.
Yeah,
Like Jesus.
it was pretty funny actually.
Oh my god, like for real. Alright. Are we ready to jump into spoilers? Because I want to jump
Yes.
into spoilers.
Yeah.
I'm not going
I
to
feel-
structure this episode by episode, though. I'm going to be a little all over the place warning, but there will be a method, probably.
Oh, good.
to madness.
Because I really got lost around episode 5.
Great.
Oh wait, did you guys watch the OVA series instead of the
No,
movie?
I watched the movie, but like there
Okay.
was
I was just
still,
thinking
there were
about
skits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Like it was episodes put together, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify.
No. Watched it in movie format.
So
Okay.
the
That
OVA
is
is
really
This is my
same as
first
this
time
then?
watching it in the movie
I
format.
Alan, is the OVA the same?
For the most part, yeah. They
Gotcha.
apparently they add some scenes, but it's been so long since I've watched the OVA series, I don't remember. So
So for the most part, we can say roughly the same.
yeah.
But yeah, and that also explains the extremely long runtime comparatively. This is a little over an hour and a half, which I think is a little on the longer side, but I think it was fine. A little
I
Okay.
bit.
mean, that's like
All
a
right.
normal movie.
Spoiler section. So if you haven't seen the movie, wait, do we like it? I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
love
like it.
Okay, great, we did it.
Phenomenal.
All right, spoiler section. Coming to you if my excitedness and their like more mellowed out excitedness has yet to sell you. Go watch it. Go do the thing. We're gonna be back. We'll be on YouTube. You can watch us, love us there. It's great. Otherwise, stick around because in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to spoiler sections. As always, I'm asking one question that will lead to many other questions. But first one, best girl, give it to me. What's up?
Oh no.
Oh, it was a.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That was like
Lost it,
that might have been the
was it?
shortest skit too, actually.
I almost want to say Tex.
Oh,
Tex.
Tex. Tex hurts my heart. Tex is so
I-
sweet.
I liked everyone in this show though. Well,
That's-
except the dad, but you know.
Fuck the dad.
Anyway.
But everyone else. Oh man, I have problems with best friend Kun.
Okay.
No, I wanna, cause you mentioned Tex. My problem with best friend Kun is that he figured out the actual truth long before the moment,
Yeah.
but still held on to his like to his prejudices, I guess.
Yeah,
To his
yeah.
bitterness. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Nope, I'm gonna take
I mean-
that back. It makes sense because he was like, but this robot was able to watch me cry. And like,
yeah, like I think they explained it fairly
yeah,
well.
they did it pretty well. Never mind, I
But-
lied.
What I don't understand still with him is he seemed to lose his prejudice for a while, you know, coming to this cafe, and then suddenly was like,
I don't know
Oh.
that he ever did. I mean, it went down. Like he was a lot more like he was able to be friendly and casual, but I don't know that he was ever like, and these people are people and I love them.
think
And I know
it's
there-
more that
there
he
was, like-
got lost in enjoying himself.
Yeah.
okay, yeah. But I feel like he really betrayed the main character
Oh, yeah.
at that juncture, and I just found it strange, like very, very strange, that it was just so sudden. And I know there was, I can't remember what it was. I know there was an event that triggered it, but it was still really strange to me.
I think his entire like at least towards the end was very sudden where like Tex just kind of shows him he's like, "Fine. You want to hear my backstory?"
Yeah,
And I
It
thought he
felt-
was just going to like walk away and we were going to have to get it later and it's like, "No. You want to hear my backstory? Well, here it is."
that
And
felt
he
a
just
little
gives it. You're like,
Actually,
"Please."
I don't. I hope I'm not jumping around too much here,
jump,
but
jump.
it
This is
feels like
spoiler. If they haven't watched the movie, then it's their fault.
it almost feels like it was slice of life, you know, going to this cafe and everything every day. But then the whole thing with Tex and the best friend and the best friend's dad was like this one little bit of plot they had to add just to have plot. And I don't know that that served the movie well. Like, even the very opening scene where you get, like, I guess the government is like, oh, we have to shut this down. But then when you move to the cafe, it's like that's really on the back burner. You're enjoying these interactions between human and robots. You don't care so much about the government.
I think
context.
I don't know about the government itself, but I think I'm okay with him having like best friend Kun's arc happening, just due to the fact that like we needed. He got lost in enjoying himself, yeah. But the reason I said this is the most uncomfortable movie I've ever loved is because the whole time his reactions are just a little bit like, oh, I feel like you're a racist. I just you make me very uncomfortable, sir. And like, sure, you're like kind of swallowing it a bit, but like at the end of the day, you're still, oh god, this is, I don't like you. And I felt like we needed that for this movie to exist. Whether or not like it made me uncomfortable, because it did. Like, I feel like we needed that to keep the movie going and to keep us like from just staling out a little bit, I guess.
Well, I can agree with that then. Like, I think we could use best friend and Tex. But I don't think we needed the scenes with the dad and the government.
Tex had to talk once.
Yeah. Like, I feel like there was a lot added with the government and the dad, because the dad worked for the government. So there was like a bunch added with that just to provide this little bit of stuff for Tex. It just didn't feel necessary to me. I would have rather had more cutesy cafe stuff.
Cutesy Cafe stuff was fun, and speaking of Cutesy Cafe stuff, we talked about Best Girl, and I'm going to first I'm going to get this out of the way before I ask. We're going to exclude Best Girl's arc for a second there.
Okay.
What was your favorite skit?
Favorite what? Sorry?
Favorite skit, favorite short story, favorite robot
So not the thing that I said you're saying.
No, that one's too good. We're going to talk about that no matter what. Give me another one, because everybody's just going to answer that, and it's no good.
I mean, I think the second best one had to have been the couple.
Yeah,
I was
the couple
hoping
as
you
well.
would say that. That's...
Yeah.
Oh my god, androids can love. And they
is
were
very
both
cute.
so stupid. They're both so dumb. It was super cute.
I called the guy being an android, but not the woman. They were like, "Oh, this is the woman," and the woman's an android. And I was like, "Nah, it's totally the dude. It's totally the dude. It's a red herring." But no, the red herring was actually they're both.
I know. Yeah, I also thought I was like sure. I was paused. I was like, "This man is an android. The woman, she's an android lover." Oh fuck. I mean, technically not untrue.
Then they showed off her legs.
Oh god.
Yeah.
And the fact that
And
she was
her
a sex
boobs.
bot. A sex bot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was. You feel so bad though.
Why would you make a bodyguard robot that is just like there for sexiness?
Because that guy was rich and therefore could. There's no other answer.
I guess
Yeah.
body type doesn't really matter that much, so.
I was rich and therefore could.
Yes.
That's all there is to it. Plus, you kind of want them to look human, I guess. I'm not really sure why, but you do.
Do you think that it would cost more for a pretty robot, or do you think that they would intentionally make ugly robots just so that you have to pay more for the prettier robots?
I feel like you're going down real far into capitalism here. Because I think you're right, and it bothers me a lot. But this is the
Yeah.
anime. No, wait, no. Anime world. Nobody's ugly. Thank God. I forgot that rule, so it's fine. That rule that can't exist.
I don't know. Any viewer who has a problem with noses might find everyone ugly.
Okay, fair.
I don't notice noses enough, to be honest.
They have them. That's already weird.
Yeah.
Anime has a tendency to like make noses not exist.
Except for, okay, I guess the only one I can really think of is Nose the Anime Survival Man.
Yeah, Kaiji.
I do.
Or like Usopp.
Oh,
But,
it's
like-
that too.
Other than that, anime has a tendency to like pretend people don't have noses unless they do.
Dude,
And
I
it's-
like the anime better if they have ridiculous noses. I just want more ridiculous noses in anime.
Alright, so if this entire movie was just Usopp, like... Alright, I've beaten around the bush. I want to talk about Best Girl and his arc. Thomas, can you give us his name? Maybe punch your camera a few times? I don't know.
I,
Great. From now on, we have to refer to him as that.
Good luck.
no,
So-
his real name was like something like Kotaru or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's not important. I mean, it is.
But because of file corruption,
His name is. So this one I am going to describe. You get like everybody else who's walked into this fucking cafe is like very human looking. Like you're not sure if they're a human, they're a robot. They're like everyone here is like, hey, we all look the same. And then
Hold on.
And then-
So before you go any
okay.
farther,
mhm.
like they do such a good job setting this up. So it is main character and his friend. They're sitting in the cafe. They're the only people there, except for the bartender, and she like walks out immediately.
And apparently the old man and the girl are like in the upstairs room, but they're not important right now.
It doesn't show anyone. Like it's them
that's
and a
true.
giant opening. So
And
it's like
this is kind of early on. It's before the halfway point, so I'd still say they're both pretty
new
I-
to everything.
new to everything. Sure.
And like so it like gives you this feeling of being very vulnerable, right, from everything that it's doing. And then it starts playing this like super epic like climactic horror movie music.
And like a
And-
robot arm just slams through a door. Not like an arm that looks like a like this metallic like warbot like arm.
CG.
Like
CG
like
robot
1960s Cold War era robot.
The fucking Terminator's arm. Just like underneath the skin thing, like Terminator the metal version, just slams into the door. His leg like kicks down. You're like, holy shit, what's about to go down? And then the music stops because you see it from a different angle, and it's
And, yeah,
it's a
just
very
some bucket guy.
shaky robot.
it's a very shaky like. He does kind of remind me of like Skinless Terminator in terms of like design, but
I mean, he looks like a tin can,
if,
really.
yeah, if he had been like stripped down for parts and then like dropped in a car junkyard for a while, this is basically a barely functioning skeleton of a robot made from like tin parts. Apparently, they didn't sell very well. Can't imagine why. And he's trying his best to be human, but he's essentially just a computer walking around. Like he's scanning people and like citing things. Like he doesn't really have memories, just like files. You see things from his eyes, and it's like I'm basically just I'm a computer. I'm a computer that's scanning things and trying to figure it out. But he's trying so damn hard.
And in the top right corner has Isaac Asimov's 3 rules of
Yeah.
robotics.
Yep.
Yeah, he comes in the cafe. He also sees the cafe's rules, and then basically he decides, okay, let's
I am
follow these
human.
rules. Yeah,
No, he came there to do that to begin with, though.
yeah.
Also, when he first came in, it looks at the aisleway and the sign, and it says like violation or something like that. And so, like after like by this point, like you understand that there's some like contention with the ethics committee and like the cafe, and so you're like, oh, this is gonna be the guy that shuts everything down. And he just like clunks in. He's like, hey guys, what's up?
How do I human? He like aggressively sits down at the table.
Yeah, like just slams down. It was great though.
And then you just get to watch this guy like try to introduce himself, but he doesn't have a name, so he just kind of screeches because
name's
his
been
name was
deleted.
erased. Yep. And the longer you watch, and the more you like just see his logic circuits like nearly exploding. You're freaking out. There's the coffee incident where everyone's like, "No, don't drink."
You're
And
going
it's
to
like
explode
actually-
yourself.
It just feels really actually suspenseful,
It
and then ends
does,
up being super anticlimactic
but
because
also
he has a
heartbreaking.
little straw.
Oh, the straw.
The
yeah,
coffee
the straw
incident,
thing.
yeah. But like
Yes.
that's the kind of humor that's just awesome. It doesn't have to be a told joke. It's just like these moments where it's like, oh wait, that okay, and then it's funny.
It feels
Oh.
like have you ever played Morrowind and like never like try to manipulate people without ever drawing your weapons? Like you just like run into them. It felt like that feeling of like just working around a problem, but just like
Very like
throwing yourself at it.
keep throwing. Yeah. No, that sums up everything. I am 8 years old. You do not think I look like an 8-year-old? No, we know like a younger than 8. This is huge. Chi, the little girl, she's huge, same size as you. It's great. And then later when she shows up and it's just, this was a clusterfuck. I'm just gonna say that. It was beautiful, and I loved it, and I loved that robot so much. Oh god, and then my heart breaks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he dies.
Not just because he died. Like, the he died bit, like, I mean, fair. But that's not what shattered my heart. What shattered my heart is, so the family didn't want to pay the, like, fee to get rid of him. So they just erased his memory and set him out on the streets. And you see this poor goddamned robot trying to remember his name because that memory is the most important thing in his entire world, is this little child naming him. And he's trying. He's trying so hard. He raised a child and can barely remember the child and loves that child. And he can't. Because he's a fucking robot and they can just scratch off his memory card. And that's a thing they can do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they went into his like mind and actually like wiped all that off. What they scratched off was the
barcode?
No, the identification number. What do you call that?
I see. A barcode. Serial number?
Serial number.
Serial number.
Yeah.
A barcode. Anyway.
Yeah, sure.
There wasn't like a little ching. You're good.
That's because they're scratched off. No, but God, and he has these like scraps of memory, and he's just trying. He wants to introduce himself with the name that was given to him by the family that he loved, and then betrayed him. And he doesn't even. Not once does he mention like he feels betrayed or like he hates the family or anything like that. He's like, these people were the most important people in my life, and I loved them. And I'm just. Why are all of the androids so pure and lovely? All of them. Has even one of them been bad at all?
No.
Not really,
Not
no.
Or like even held any malice in their heart, like an inch of it?
No, not that we see at least.
She is. Oh wait.
She's definitely human.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
She's human.
Okay.
I was gonna say she's a cat, and all cats have malice in their heart.
No, but she's human though. Caretaker guy was a robot, but not her.
Yeah.
It may be because of the setting. I mean, like,
Maybe.
someone who hates, like, the distinction probably wouldn't go to that cafe in the first place.
You know what? That's fair. I mean, and I enjoyed. To be honest, like, it sounds like I'm complaining. I really enjoyed that everybody there was just, howdy there, folks. It's me, a person. What are you? Me. Can I get a coffee?
Yeah.
The girl that you first meet that first talks to them with the hat, she's kind of treated pretty poorly. You see in like the second skit, the second scene, big scene.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a skit. I think it's just part of the first, like, skit. Just a longer one. But yeah, holy God. It's just like this most talkative, bubbly person ever. And she's like, yeah, we have androids in our house, and it's great, and everybody loves each other, and like, I want to get to know everybody more so I can get to know them. And you're like, oh man, this little human just loves androids so much. Wrong.
She's an android that just gets shit on every day.
She's an android and her family shits on her. Her family's like not kind. And every day she goes into the cafe, she's like, oh boy, I love everything, and I'm so happy, and I love my family. And you're just... You sweet.
It's sad.
I was waiting for a moment to bring this up, and this seems like a pretty good place.
None.
So, what I think, at least in the beginning of the movie, it's a little topical, I think, in the... So, like, this is from an American looking in. And what it seems like is you get all the people who are huge into anime, right? And I saw a commercial the other day, and I cannot tell you if it is real or not, because it is a fine line, and I can't tell. I don't even know. And it's of a guy who has a new, like, machine that they came out with. It's pretty much like Cortana or you know, the...
Oh,
like the Siri thing, but
Yeah.
it's an anime girl, and it's like
Yeah.
3D on the inside, and he like says goodbye to it, hello to it, and like he comes home to it every night, and he's like, "Thank you for always being there." Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's cool, but a little sad at the same time, just because of one of the things he said. Anyway, so I was wondering if maybe this is talking a bit about how, like, the direction Japan's going in, where there are people who give a little too much to these things that aren't real, and I was wondering which direction it would go. If it was going to go toward these things aren't real, stay away from it, but it went and kind of catered to that
direction.
It kind of catered to the audience that I guess might be the majority now. And you hear in the classroom, there are a couple kids that are like, "Oh, those weirdos," and you see it on television, and like they have the ads everywhere that's like, "Don't trust the robots." Like the robot, and then it always has the "No robots allowed" signs everywhere. It always focuses on this, and I think it's showing a little bit of like this underlying tension right now that, I mean, I can't really say for sure I perceive as something in Japan.
Because I don't think so. I fundamentally don't believe so. I don't think this is talking to that. For a few reasons. One, we're not even close to that. Like our technology is not there. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
not at that point.
I think people are like, I mean, like you get the stereotypical otaku. I'm not one, and I don't really care if anyone is, but like the common like perception of it is like, this person's so sad, and they think that their anime characters are real. But
like, those people aren't. Okay, I'm not gonna say they aren't real because I'm sure they are, but they're not common. I don't think that's a thing that's like, oh boy, everybody in Japan is talking to Alexa like she's their real girlfriend. Like,
yeah, I think
I don't think that's. I fundamentally don't believe that is a problem being faced right now, except for like that one guy apparently. But there's a reason he got his own show. He's weird. Sorry, go on.
I don't know. I was gonna say something, but it didn't make any sense. So pass on that.
I see. I mean, I also American, not Japanese.
Yeah,
so like
exactly.
This could be a thing. But
like I was gonna say, here in America, it's a lot like, if you know, like, yeah, like these weebs, they have their look. I have my waifu pillow right behind me. You know, it's like, I'll joke about it. I'm not actually that sad. You know, like I'll pretend to be that sad just for the jokes.
But I feel like it's a little different. It's also like a different commercial culture, you know. So like you'll see stuff like we'll have this personified like Coca-Cola bottle or something like that. It's not a fucking Coca bottle, but it doesn't really matter. Hail corporate, by the way. And then or we'll have like Mickey Mouse is like the biggest thing, right? And like he's not like decorating everything, but like in Japan, there are ads to go to the self-defense force that are with anime characters.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what they do,
and
right?
They
but
decorate the billboards with them, and like then the talking app that talks that's pretty much Cortana or Alexa or, you know, Google Girl.
But I think Japan or America, like, a person has to be really out of touch with reality, like, to the point of actually having a possible mental illness to think anime characters are real. Like genuinely believe that they're real.
And I believe like their culture like lends itself to like, here's an anime advertisement because this is like what our media is.
Yeah,
I don't believe it's like
that.
that's fine. I don't think it's like everybody in Japan is a weeb.
Yeah,
I think
like,
I lost. I think I lost my point somewhere in there. Well, where I was going with this is more like, do you think that this is like a battle of generations sort of thing, and this is like showcasing from the younger generation, being like, "Hey, it's really not that bad."
I honestly looked at it more as a racism story, to be honest.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I don't think it was a generation. Like, sure, this was technically talking about robots, but shit, it's not like they were drinking oil or anything. They're drinking coffee like everyone else.
Yeah.
So, like, because of that, and especially that fact, like, really hit me. To me, this really just felt like it was a story on racism, not a story on. And, like, sure, from that point of view, like, what's his best friend Coon's dad is, like, an old generation guy who's like, how dare you give them votes? Those aren't people. But,
Yeah.
like, it's not. I don't think it's like. I don't think it's trying to tell like the real life story of us versus technology fundamentally because I don't think humanity is even close to that. And like I think we're so far off that I like sure we have like Alexa or like whatever the Japanese equivalent of. I don't think it's I don't think we're there yet.
I totally agree that it's a story about racism. I mean, like that's actually is, still a big problem in Japan. They don't like foreigners at all, in general. So like,
yeah.
I really do think that's probably what this is about. But if you do consider it from the standpoint of technology, I think all that can really be said is it's saying like, accept technology into your life. Like, don't like it can make your life easier, sort of. So like, don't cast it out as just because it's new and strange to you. Like,
Maybe.
if you do want to think about it as technology. But like I said, I do agree this is more about racism. Just using robots as an example, really.
Well, I think that's the best way. Thomas, am I allowed to segue or do you want to keep going on this?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that's the best way to do racism, though, because, like, sure we can do it with actual people, but no matter what happens, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, someone gets offended. Like, it's hard to do that without making a caricature of someone one way or another.
But, like, Cortana's not chiming in here to be like, I'm not a fan of how you portrayed the robotics here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm fairly certain that's an entire genre of, like, sci-fi. Just, like, taking these otherworldly, or in this case, like, robotic sort of, entities and sort of giving them human attributes just to draw a parallel.
I mean, that's Westworld in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
Still haven't seen
I
it.
was going to bring that up.
Okay, no. Well, I wanted to bring up the difference, though, but Steve, you said you wanted to bring up Westworld too. We're not spoiling things. We're just
No
basic plot.
spoilers.
Basic plot.
Okay.
But, like, the thing with Westworld is, like, it's more of a cautionary thing, right? Whereas this is the complete opposite of that.
Not just
And
that.
I think
in
they're
Westworld, like the mistreated robots, like get angry and revolt, and like, and this is
Yeah.
still like very early Westworld. This is not new things.
And
I promise.
this is, and that's less like they're angry that they're being mistreated, and more that they realize, or this is them literally gaining sentience rather than something like this. We start with sentience,
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of, but
I'd
Westworld
argue it's
is
still
more
early
like
stages, but
the people in Westworld, the humans, don't think they're doing anything wrong because these things are just technology, like a cell phone, like they don't see it as any different.
it's like you're bullying the thing
But-
singing "It's a Small World" at Disney World. Like that's not
Yeah.
a real thing.
But I think Westworld is more of a cautionary thing, and I think there's a lot of that in American media. So I think usually when you deal with AI in media, it's either going to be this parallel to racism or this cautionary tale about don't rely too much on it. I think those are pretty much your two, where most things are going to fall into. And Eve no Jikan is most certainly the latter, I think.
Yeah, but
I think I was just coming at this from the wrong perspective then.
I mean,
you can rewatch it dubbed.
What?
I definitely will.
Yeah,
I cut you off.
Alan?
Allan?
no, it's
Allan.
fine. Like, I was basically gonna say you can watch it again.
So,
So,
with that, should we move to final thoughts?
Well,
Or
the last scene I
anything
think
else?
we should touch on at least.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I actually really wanted to talk about her because we haven't. We've touched on her. But, there's kind of a bartender we need to... the elephant in behind the bar that we
Yeah.
need to talk about here. And that's what the last scene is talking about, so... that branches together, I think. Unless we had different last scenes, but
Yeah, no. Last
What?
scene was Tex.
no, there was a scene right after that. We talked about Tex for a while. There was a scene right after Tex. I promise. It was like 2 minutes.
Okay.
I don't remember it, so go for it.
Wait, no, this happened.
No, I believe it happened. I just don't remember it. I watched this
No, I'm
like
crazy.
probably
No,
before
it
the
was
rest
there,
of you.
Jovan. It was there.
Yeah.
I watched it like a week and a half ago. So
All right, so we talked about Tex for a while. So I don't super want to go too in depth with him. I want to hit that first though, because I want my other thing to be last. So like with Tex, I did really like the way he found a loophole just so he could fucking talk to his master after all this time and be like, no, but I've always loved you though.
yeah, he had to find a way to. So there was another robot violating orders, which allowed him
Loopholes,
to talk.
loopholes,
to be
loopholes,
like,
loopholes, loopholes.
Yeah.
Really stretching the meaning of danger with the door being closed as like the end of the danger.
The moment that guy's it's that guy's presence in the room. If that guy's in the room, then there is danger. If that guy's not in the room, not danger.
But he was
Keep
probably
him in
already
the room.
halfway up the stairs by the time the door closes. My point.
It's fine. I can still see him. He could turn around and try to punch you or something. Oh god, yeah. I mean, I know, like, physical danger wasn't the problem. But either way, like, I really did love that Tex was trying so fucking hard. And even before that, like, before he spoke, he was just...
Yeah. He's trying. Like
And it didn't work.
He wants everyone to know, but
But when he finally got that
Sad.
chance to talk, it was, like, so sweet. And then they hold hands and walk home, and it's like, yay!
And the perfect moment for me in that scene was like during the scene, like I had this moment, like I get pulled out of it sometimes when it gets a little too sappy. Like I get into it, I was like, oh my god, I gotta think of something else. Let's pick something out. And what I picked out was that there's stairs, and Tex doesn't have legs. And I was like, how the fuck did Tex get on the ground? And then like they like hug, and then they turn around and they start going, and then boom, runs right into the stairs. And I was like, yes.
Wait, how did he get in here? Oh, we carried him.
yeah, that's what I thought was really funny. It's just like
I loved it.
they ask and everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's
That was
no big
actually
deal.
one of my favorite jokes of the entire thing, because that was the most dramatic moment in the... I would say, at least for me, that was the most dramatic moment. That was huge. You finally got, like, best friend Kun to open up and, like, love his robot, and everything was great, and then just... Womp. How do you get in here? I carried him. I helped. What? You guys... You haven't said a word this entire skit, and now you just feel like, yeah. I mean, we were here, though, like...
Oh,
I loved it.
What you're talking about the last 2 minutes. Okay. Also, though, I like the talking about the animation, the composition. Great way to like show things. I haven't been to school for animation, so I don't really know, but I've been paying attention to it a lot more. So like, that's all like a chest shot, like as it walks, and then it like has a really quick, like probably like an 0.8 seconds. It's less than a second, definitely more than half a second. Shot of where it's him just running into the stair. And I don't know. That really stuck with me for some reason. Just
All right.
because that was the gag timing. I don't know.
I'm sure the director is out there like, he got it.
At least someone recognizes this.
This one guy. If the director's watching this, like, Jesus. You have better things to do, man.
We've made it by then.
Yeah, for real, though. Alright, so my final point I want to talk about. The bartender, whose name I think was like Mika, but I'm not 100% sure on that. That doesn't sound Japanese, so it's probably something similar to that, but not right.
Mikasa.
No, it's not Mikasa. Miyoka? Somebody get me her name.
Regardless.
That sounds right to me, but yeah. Anyway, bartender.
No, I need to know. Fine. She has put her life into making this, like, cafe work. Nagi. Got it.
It's Nagi,
Nagi,
yeah.
Nagi.
Okay.
Okay. That was close.
I
In
don't
that,
you?
there were
That-
vowels. There were vowels and 4 letters in the name I also gave. Close enough.
The vowels were I and A.
Yeah,
So-
see, I did it. Nagi. Alright. So Nagi, like, she's put her entire life into, like, robots and peoples will be friends, damn it. Like, these two assholes just keep showing up, and they keep messing it up. And Steven made a comment before the show started. Why haven't they been kicked out yet? And, like, that's a good thought, but, like, at the end of the day, she's not, like, trying to enforce these rules to, like, push people away. She just wants them to get it.
She's
She
trying
just
to create a community.
desperately wants them to get it and be part of the community. Because if you just throw away, I'm sure all humans when they first show up at this cafe are like, what the fuck? This is so weird and uncomfortable and I don't like it. But, like, you can't just push them away for, like, messing up once or twice as they get used to the change. Like, because the fact that they came to begin with means that they're at least somewhat receptive. So, like, you just have to keep trying, and I really loved her way of just... I will make this community, damn it. I'll make this community, and I love robots, and I love people, and I love everybody, and that's okay, too.
And at the end, it really seems like she succeeded. They didn't get shut down.
They didn't get shut down. GG.
Yeah. So that last scene, where it's the older woman talking to the plant in the, who's the dark-haired guy that the secondary character talked to for a really long time.
Yeah.
He was a plant, and I didn't quite understand what's going on. So were they working with the ethics committee, or were they like an organization that was against them?
I believe they're independent. They might have been with... I think it's either with or independent. I do not believe it's against. But, at the end of the day, like, that cafe's not getting shut down. But more importantly, you also learn, like... There's an incident that's referenced every so often in, like, the government talk. I don't remember, it's like Subioka incident or some shit. Where it's like, yeah, something really bad happened, like, 8 years ago. And nothing else will be mentioned about it.
Yeah.
And then you find out, like, at the Human Ethics Committee thing, this one little girl was injured. Like, and you're like, oh no, who is that? Oh, as it turns out, that's our lovely bartender, who did not turn that injury into hate or fear whatsoever. Instead, she was like, no, friendship. I'm gonna friendship these scars away. And guys, I'm a shonen junkie. Friendship. One Piece is beautiful. I cried when a boat died. Spoilers for like 10 years ago, by the way.
How dare you?
One Piece. What am I gonna say? It's One Piece. It's still going. I mean,
I
geez.
know. It's just ridiculous that's like a legitimate statement still, though.
Yeah, a boat
Legitimate.
dies. I'm just gonna put it out there. A boat dies, and it's probably the saddest scene in all of One Piece. I cried.
I haven't
And it was
seen
like,
any.
that boat had so much friendship. That's the problem. That boat, like, its last actions were friendship. And, like, I'm always in for, like, let's solve these problems with friendship. And that's what she's doing. She built this entire fucking bar. She got, like, robots to come in. We don't actually know how people are finding this place, by the way. Like, at the end of the movie, she, like, teases it, and is like, you still have a lot to learn, kid. And then nothing else.
It's like a subtle invitation is what it ends up, like, amounting to, what it sounds like.
Guess, but, like, it also sounds kind of like it's not 100% specific to people. Because she's like, I didn't invite Tex. That's not what happened. And I'm like, wait, but... So I don't know.
Not text Sammy.
Yeah. Oh, that's true, too. No, but she was also like, I didn't invite Tex near the end. It's like, how'd Tex get here anyways?
Text
Did you invite him?
did research, if you saw. It was a very quick scene, like 2
What's the
seconds
point?
long.
Like, she built it in a way where, like, robots and people could find it, but it's, like, not easy to find. And, like, she put her heart and soul into this. She, like, enforces those rules day by day, and I did really love the fact that, like, she didn't kick anybody out ever.
I'm so
was
sorry to the viewers.
Oh.
They'll know what I'm talking about.
What happened?
I'm getting Facebook
Okay.
messages and the noise is just
Oh.
ringing.
Alan,
Oh.
turn off Facebook
You
for
should
now.
just close
Jesus.
Facebook.
Close Facebook.
Close Facebook. I just want to be the last person to say that.
Close
The
Facebook.
damage
But
is already
anyhow.
done.
No, Alan. No. Fine. Forgive us for our production android. He will be replaced shortly.
Oh, go ahead. That just means I don't have to do shit.
Never mind. We'll give him a pot of coffee instead and invite him with friendship. That's a better solution. Um, yeah, but I enjoyed her existence because all the other robots kind of come and go, or androids. She's not an android; she's a person. I guess she's a human. Everybody's a person. I'm trying. All the other characters kind of come and go as needed for skits. She's a constant, and like, I think she was a really good constant to have. Just always reminding of like what we're trying to do here, whether or not the main characters are always getting it. Which, spoiler warning, they aren't. Also, I would like to point out we never once mentioned the piano. None of us care, apparently.
It was alright. It was mostly a moment for like Sammy and
Main
Character.
yeah.
We also barely talked about Sammy at all. Rip.
Sammy feel like okay, so with that story, this specifically Sammy, this made me feel a bit like Blame, in which it's just like one part of many, and we don't get to get the whole thing. Also, like how the entire movie ends with like, and then they met so and so a couple years later, but that's not important to this story. Like it just feels.
No, I loved it. I loved it. He was like, and that was just the beginning to all of my crazy, wacky adventures at this cafe. This was the only beginning. It didn't even scratch the surface of everything that happened in this cafe. Well, bye. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
that's like such a, I don't know, like a He-Man moment. I don't know.
On one hand, that gives me hope. I was like, wait, is there other material for this? And there isn't.
No.
So
There's not.
I'm really bummed about that because they teased it and it's not there, and I'm angry. But on the other hand, I love the fact that they're saying like this isn't like a one shot though. Like, you know, this guy's gonna keep coming to this cafe. These things are gonna keep happening, and I'm up for it. Like whether or not we get to see it, I'm up for it.
It's pretty ham-fisted the way they did that, though.
Oh, it's fine.
Like,
I love ham. I was gonna say something else, and then I realized what that would sound like out loud. So we're gonna move on to final
I
thoughts.
love fisting.
Nope.
Okay.
Ham. Anyway, final thoughts and ratings. I guess I'll go first because mine is the most obvious. I mean, I think we all liked it, but I think I'm a little bit too bubbly here. Also, I've been doing a lot of work recently, so I'm just kind of woo everywhere all the time. I love it. This movie is good. Go watch this movie. I recommend this movie. Go watch this fucking movie. This movie is... It's not like... With Koei no Katachi, it was, like, uncomfortable, and I loved it in a way of, like, this is not... I mean, it's a happy movie, but, like... It had an ending, at least. But, like, Koei no Katachi was very, like, it hit hard, you know what I mean? While this doesn't hit super hard, it's, like, both uncomfortable and hilarious at the same time. Allan described this to me as like robots and humans in a cafe and antics ensue. And you know what? Antics ensued. And if you're up for antics and you're also up for like a movie that sure you'll feel things, but at the same time, like this is not a heavy hitter. This is not Koei no Katachi. This isn't even Your Name. This isn't a drama. This is just fun.
Yeah, I'd say with Koei no Katachi and Your Name, I really you get a message from those, you know, like you kind of walk away with the movie with something, and I think a lot of movies are like that. This movie was just very enjoyable. As you said before, it was casual. Like you just sit down and spend 2 hours watching it. It's like neat.
Do you know why I love this so much?
Why?
Saint Young Men.
Oh my god.
It's the same. Sure, they're like themes and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's a bunch of really fun skits with the setting that we gave you. Do it. And that's... And Nichijou. God, I just learned I love a thing. Woo! Anyway, sorry.
I think we already knew you loved that thing, Javon.
Yeah, but I didn't have words for it. Anyway, go on.
Isn't that a sitcom?
No, because I don't like Gintama.
But anyhow, yeah, a lot of movies I'll sit there and I'm like, how much longer is left? This was just kind of watching it, taking it in, not thinking about it too much, you know, like.
I'm not watching the
And
movie.
I just, yeah, I just loved it. I would highly recommend it. I very much liked it. Please go watch this movie. I don't know why I didn't watch it sooner. I had looked at it. It was so worth it.
You could have watched it with me. I watched it like a few years ago when we were roommates, man.
I didn't know, man.
Just that's Alan's way of saying don't ever turn him down.
Oh no, I've seen some stuff with Allan that maybe you should turn him down. It's
Or is
fine.
it Brynhilde in the Darkness?
Not yet, but that's coming up.
Oh god.
I'm so excited to
I'm so like not
rewatch
excited.
That's shots fired at Lou because I think he's coming in for that, right?
I think Lou's coming in for that, but only because he hates it so much.
How could
Yep.
Oh, he hates it. Good.
Anyhow. Anyhow, different show.
Anyhow.
Considering I was the one who kind of recommended this to Jovan, even though it's his pick.
No, Allan definitely recommended this to me, and it just sounded fun, so I was in. I just wanted something fun.
You did it immediately in the show, like 2 weeks ago.
It's fine.
So yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's if you don't want to sit down and watch the entire thing, it is also an OVA series, and it doesn't really take much away from it when you watch it like that. And it's basically the style is basically like an extended 4-coma, where they're like everyone's been saying, they're just skits, and for the most part it's comedy. Some of them are kind of more touching, but yeah, if that's something you think you'd like,
Do it.
Yeah. I'd recommend this too. It's an easy watch. So it's probably my favorite easy watch anime that I've ever seen. Because like there's something about like the movies I like in anime, and it just feels like I have to give something. It feels like a dedication. I don't know where that feeling comes from. Maybe it's some personal problem. I don't know. But they all feel like I have to like sit down and like devote myself to like all my time to watch this. But with this, I feel like I just could come in and out and like enjoy every little bit of it. And sometimes I laughed, sometimes I got a little upset because of the themes. But in the end, I was like, yeah, that was a good movie. I would recommend this to anyone, especially if you're starting anime or if you're trying to get your friends to start anime. I feel like this is a good intro.
This is fun. Yeah, this is. I don't. You know what? No, I agree. This is definitely. It's a good one. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, I would definitely introduce somebody to just be like, hey, watch it.
Like I said, there's no dedication. Like I can just be like, I can put this on and people would be like, yeah. Like it's very accessible.
It is. It's super accessible. It's super casual, and it's just a good time.
Hey, especially if the dub is good.
The dub is so good, guys.
Normies
I'm
can
just
watch
putting it out there. The dub is so good. And like that means you don't have to like stare at the screen the whole time too for people who like don't like having to read subtitles or whatever.
Yeah, it just makes it all the more casual.
And to be fair, at this point, I think none of us like watch subtitles religiously. You just kind of tune in and out because we're good at this.
Yeah.
And by good at this, I mean we've watched far too much anime. Somebody help us. But yeah, I think with all that in mind, though, that sums up our thoughts on Even no Jikan. If we haven't convinced you to watch it, then you came in here with a hard heart. Get out of here.
Yeah, but really, if we can't convince you to watch the next show, then we might need to reevaluate this, like us doing this show.
Guys, I'm gonna let everybody here on a secret. I don't even know if Steven and Allan know this. The audience doesn't know this. I've referenced it a few times, so I'm just gonna flat out say it. This entire podcast exists because Thomas has been trying to get me to watch Eureka 7. That's it.
That's not what we're watching next week.
It is. Scheduling things. It's not. I didn't fix it on the schedule. My bad.
Fucking fix your shit,
so
Jovan.
It's my bad.
It's so
It's
confusing.
my bad.
Man.
It's fine. Anyway,
I thought we were watching Evangelion.
we were,
Oh.
but because
I'm
of
so excited.
Because of Dakota's schedule, we're doing it, and we're doing Eureka 7 first, and then we're gonna do our Evangelion Fooly Cooly like crazy time, fun time.
Oh
But-
boy.
Yeah. There's some spoilers to the futures, folks. But this entire podcast exists because Thomas couldn't get me to watch Eureka 7 for like 3 years. He's just been trying to get me to watch it, and I've just been, I mean, I'll get to it eventually, and I just never bothered because I don't care. Well, now I'm forced to. For
The
you
dub
guys.
is excellent. Johnny Young Bosch and the guy who plays Winston from Overwatch is in it.
Isn't Johnny Young Bosch Sasuke?
What?
Is Johnny Youngbosch Sasuke?
He's Red Power Ranger.
He might also be Sasuke.
I
Get back to you on that next time.
Yeah, but English voice acting. If I remember correctly, there were only like 2 characters that didn't like the English voice actors for. There's like a so. Should I break this down? What it is?
Nope.
No.
Wait, what do you mean break it down?
At Eka 7, just like
Yeah, sure.
Give you a
Give it
quick
to us.
summary. So they call it at Eka 7. It's Eureka is how it looks like it's spelled. I don't know where the 7 comes from. I think because there's 7 robots.
So
I
they're
like
robots.
it because it doesn't tell you. Yes, all right. So it's a battle shonen. And
Guys, he's not pitching to you. He's pitching to me.
I'm and they're giant robots that they do flying like wave. They surf in the air, and then they shoot people while they're surfing in the air. And so what I like about it is that it doesn't tell you anything until the 2nd season. Like you're like, why are they fighting each other? Well, there's a rebel group. Oh, why are they a rebel group?
Wait, stop spoilers. Stop spoiling.
Well, that's episode 1. They're
Okay.
like rebel. Then
Okay.
You don't know what happens. What are these robots? I don't know. Why is Ereka so important? The green hair girl. I don't know. Why is the main character guy so important? I don't know. Like none of it is explained. And then like and it starts like so happy-go-lucky. Like young kid gets into it. Like I'm sure most fandoms start. And
One Piece
then-
started with the guy getting crucified, actually. So like,
What did?
One Piece.
Oh yeah.
Man,
So,
we're
I
already
mean-
getting a whole review of Erica 7 here.
Yeah. No.
No,
Sorry.
I'm so ready.
I'll cut it down. And essentially, why is they're fighting? I guess is what it really comes down to.
All right,
And-
surfboard battle robots.
Yes,
I'm getting.
flying surfboard, excellent music. Holy shit!
Song?
Story Writer is the name of the song by Supercar. You'll know when you hear it, and you'll get pumped.
And that was the countdown. All right, that is Tom's breakdown. This is why I said no at first. The rest of us haven't seen it. We can't do another podcast yet.
I don't know. I think we can just run this into Edeka 7. Just watch it real quick while I continue on about it.
Let me just call Dakota real fast.
I think he's at Anime Expo right now.
Perfect. Just like Skype him in, like with all the noise there. It's awesome. No, but yeah,
Chapter tapes, guys.
Eureka 7 is coming up next. I think you already know what one guy's feelings on it are. We'll find out how the rest of us feel. And that'll be coming up next
So-
time.
Are we watching both seasons real quick?
Yeah. I
If
think.
they're both 12, then yes.
Yeah, how long are they?
Oh no. Each one's
no.
new.
I kind of like, because you're like, you don't find out anything till the 2nd season, and the Higurashi pod was like really annoying. I kind of just want to do the whole thing.
We could. That's up to you guys.
We'll talk about it in later.
Okay.
We'll talk about it after the show, and like you guys will find out when we come on air.
Or you can send a tweet out to the 2 people that follow you.
Yeah,
I have like, I actually don't know. I haven't used my Twitter in half a year.
you
Shit.
have Finn.
Yeah, you might as well just DM them at this point.
I have like 50 followers.
Alright.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. So
I have
now
like
I'm
8.
hurt. Well, that's enough of this show, I think. Making fun of my abandoned Twitter, will you? Yeah, so Eureka 7 coming up next time. Tune in. It'll be fun, hopefully. And thank you guys for making Movie Month a thing again. We really love doing it because movies are a thing we don't get to talk about enough, and they're usually pretty good, the ones we watch, or they're Wolf Children. Or Blame. My opinions are the only ones that matter.
I didn't hate Wolf Children.
I know.
It's really good.
That was just the... Oh,
Were those both
that-
Stevens?
Yep.
Okay, Blame was bad.
Anyway, that's been WeTaku Anime Reviews. We'll see you guys next time. I have to poop on Steven just a little bit every day.
Bye-bye.
Rest in peace, Steven.